Monday. Welcome back to Chicago Now.
Easter Monday.
Easter Monday.
This is so weird. We had this, okay, so Gabs, we were driving back from Indiana. By the way, it's great to be back. I was off all last week. I know you guys missed me.
Yeah, we did.
Cried every day. But
It was tough.
I always, in my mind, thought that, and we've always said, you know, it was 3 days after Good Friday that Jesus apparently
Was resurrected.
was resurrected. 3 days, right? But then we were in the car talking about this on the way back from our trip to Indiana. It was a road trip. It was actually only 48 hours because like Friday is Good Friday, then Saturday, and then Sunday. So we, of course, as one does these days, we chat GPT'd it.
Okay.
And each
What were the results?
The results of this were it's still 3 days because I guess back way when Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they just tallied it all up.
Oh,
and
yeah, it
it's
would
3
make
days.
sense,
But
yeah.
it's, if you think about it, it's 48 hours.
Okay.
Anyway, side note.
For the little education, you know what's funny?
Easter Monday.
Actually, yesterday we were looking at like AI photos of like what Jesus would have looked like based off the Shroud of Turin and
Oh,
and
right,
different things. And so it's funny you say that because it's a whole new world when you're talking AI and ChatGPT and all these things that you can come up with. How was your trip?
It was great. There's so many ChatGPT. It was great. We went to a place called French Lick, Indiana, which people may have heard of.
It's a crazy name.
It's a crazy name, and we ChatGPT'd that too.
Lick.
It has to do, first of all, the reason you've heard of it possibly is because it's the hometown of Larry Bird.
Which I found out just this morning.
Larry Bird.
Wow.
It's a tiny little town. However, the reason it's well known and the reason it gets the name Lick is because there are these mineral springs down there. They were famous across the country back in the late 1800s, the early 1900s. People would go to this place, French Lick, Indiana, because these mineral springs were thought to be healing. So there's all kinds of minerals in it. It smells like sulfur.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You've smelled that like sulfury smell. Okay. So people would come for the healing effects, and these crazy opulent hotels were built. There were 5 trains a day from Chicago.
That's insane.
For people to go and like heal. It's like a resort spa. So this building, honestly, folks should Google the West Baden Springs Hotel in French Lick, Indiana. It honestly looks like nothing you've ever seen. And I'm not exaggerating, Gabs. When it opened up, it was called, like, casually called the 8th wonder of the world. Have you ever been to the Baha'i Temple in Wilmette?
No.
Okay. Are you familiar with kind of what it looks like? Okay, so
Oh, I've driven past.
the only thing that I could compare the West Baden Springs Hotel with is the Baha'i Temple. It is that spectacular.
Okay.
You go in, I think they call it the largest unsupported steel dome in the whole world. There it is. Oh, thank you, Brad.
Look
All right,
at that.
so
Right
this was built in 1901. All right, so do you see that huge dome?
Yes.
So there are like 500 hotel rooms that are the perimeter, and the whole atrium is huge. We spent so much time just in that atrium. All this natural light comes through. It is a gorgeous space. It is a complete undiscovered gem. And the reason a lot of people have not discovered this place is because for most of the 20th century, it was completely shut down. It fell into disrepair after the Great Depression. And it was just a total rundown, like in total disrepair. And then multimillionaire in the early 2000s decided to gradually start
What a rich history.
It's so cool. Now, unfortunately, the mineral springs have been filled in with concrete and cinder blocks, but there's still because they were prone to flooding.
Oh.
But the cool thing is, when you walk around the grounds of this place, there's these old Greek temples that have been, like Greek-style temples that have been built over where the springs were.
That's beautiful.
And so there used to be these staircases down into the springs, and people would actually drink the water, and for the supposed healing effects, it was called Pluto water, and it was from southern Indiana.
So do you know how many hotels or resorts remain?
There were a lot. There were 2 major ones, including the one we just saw, and then another one. But then there were all these other hotels that have since been either torn down or closed. So there was a pocket of hotels.
Okay.
And I think that's how the, the town's economy kind of.
So when you go to a place like this, is it mostly just kind of sitting there, like enjoying what the resort has to offer? I'm guessing there's probably some hiking trails.
There's hiking trails. There's like horse stables. There's a couple of really big opulent pools that have been, the indoor pool way bigger than, I mean, this studio, it's huge, and there are these Greek columns. Like, you can get a taste for what it was like in its heyday, because it really does look like that. Again, it's so cool. And actually, a crazy thing about it is this: you're just going through southern Indiana, you know, rolling hills, you know, small houses, like very rural, and then out of nowhere you see this like palatial, almost looks like a big 1901 circus tent.
Because you did try showing me a picture earlier this morning, and sorry, Anthony, but your picture,
it doesn't do it justice.
Forefront of it, but it doesn't do it justice.
The iPhone doesn't really do it justice, but when you walk in, everyone's like, whoa, everyone immediately busts their phones out. So that was cool. Yeah, and it was really family friendly. So I highly recommend a road trip. It's a 5.5-hour drive.
Okay.
About doable. 5 from, it's very doable. If you want to avoid, honestly, if you want to avoid the airports right now,
it's a good little getaway.
Good little driving getaway, and plenty to do for the kids.
I learned something new today, Anthony.
Yeah.
Do you know where I went?
Where did you go?
Orland Park.
Orland Park, the southwest suburbs. And your Easter, good?
Yeah,
was it
great.
a success?
It was great, yeah. All the sites that had to be seen in Orland, I did it.
Did you watch any, I mean, I'm going to try to loosely transition us here to our first interview. Did you watch any Final Four?
Yes, I did watch the UConn-Illinois game.
Okay.
Did I fall asleep after the first couple of minutes of the Michigan game?
Oh,
I might have. Just I was feeling extra sleepy, you know, but I heard that
wasn't
I
very
didn't
dramatic.
miss anything.
It's unbelievable, the lack of drama. We're going to bring in Mark Carman to preview tonight's big game. Mark, you're on the road, sir. Oh, wait, are you on the road? It looks like, is that a car or
a private jet?
Private jet, it almost looks like you're in.
I'm on my way to French Lick, Anthony, because you just you're taking me back to my childhood when I had that experience in French Lick. I never actually thought about the fact of those two words put together and the slight awkwardness of the town being called French Lick. But it's a great place. You just underlined it well, and now I want to go back.
Did you go to the West Baden Hotel, the big circular dome hotel? There it is. There's the inside of the atrium. Thank you, Brad. Look at that place. It's huge.
Honestly, I was so young that I don't recall that, but I do remember like learning to swim down there and like having a great time. It was a great place for a kid. And I've looked to go back forever, but I just haven't done it. So maybe someday. But yeah, and by the way, yes, I'm on the Metro, annoying everyone in this car to talk to you guys. But this is important. I'm in the national championships tonight. We got to do this.
You know what? I actually knew that he was on Metro after I looked a little bit closer, Mark, because that blue hue that you have going on.
Isn't it beautiful?
Metro. Yeah, but you look great.
I love a good relaxing Metro ride.
Oh, me too.
It's so much. I mean, like, you know, I love the L, of course, you know, clanging through the neighborhoods, but like the Metro, you're. What line are you on, Mark?
This is the Milwaukee District line. We're coming up on Healy here, beautiful stop, which you would, there's a great bar that's adjacent to this where I play softball on Monday nights. That is a good flex. But, you know, I used to be an L guy, and then I got flipped out to the suburbs for family life, which was, I try not to think about how disappointing that was. But so, you know, now we got to do the long commute.
You guys, I'm looking forward to my suburban life.
Oh, yeah. You're going to lean right into that.
Anyway, let's talk about the more important things. Can we do a recap first, Mark? Maybe we could start with the Illinois-UConn game, because, you know, there was an exciting moment. I guess they caught up a little bit. But for the most part, I mean, it wasn't like anything super crazy that we've seen before.
Yeah, I just think it's a huge bummer for Illinois because, you know, you don't get to go to the Final Four that often, right? And here you are. And if they had just shot better, they could have won the game. I mean, UConn, very good team, but also very beatable. And it just, Illinois didn't play well. They had let Mullins get off early with a couple of threes, which you can kind of look at some strategy from Brad Underwood about the way they guarded, which wasn't great. But it you know, watching that game, it's like if you could just hit a couple of big shots here, you're right there. But they couldn't push over the top, and you know, congrats to UConn, I guess. But that game felt winnable, and they just didn't get it done.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us your thoughts on Michigan, this team, their performance against Arizona, and your outlook for them going into tonight?
So I'm trying to think who's better, the Michigan Wolverines or the '90s Bulls. It's going off close here. You know, they've won 11 games by 30 or more this year. They've won by double digits in every tournament game. They've scored 90 plus in every tournament game. They've got giants like Adi Mara, who's a nightmare to deal with in the paint. They've got Yaxel Lundenberg, who's going to be a star in the NBA. Now, that's the hope, by the way, for is the game injured. I hope that's frozen for you guys because I am for myself. But, you know, they're Michigan's a heavy favorite tonight, as they should be. They've been incredible all year long. I saw them up close and personal at Welsh Ryan Arena. Northwestern had them down in the second half, and then it was like, okay, enough. And they just blew by them in 5 seconds. So it's just they're a great basketball team, and they're obviously the significant favorite tonight.
Yeah, so do you think that maybe just honestly getting in the other team's head, it seems like they've had a lead in some of these games and they just haven't really given it up, and it seems like that's kind of the psychological game, I guess, you know, just because they are that good. Do you expect, see that happening again, maybe, Mark, having that early on lead that maybe will result in something better for the end for Michigan?
Well, I mean, you got one for their third championship in 4 years. I mean, this is, you know, this is a team that's going to compete, and they've got size down low too. Sorry, we're bouncing around here. So you know, but at the end of the day, it's just, you know, it's, the mental game doesn't even matter when you're just this much physically superior, and you've got Michigan's unselfish. They can shoot. It's not just one guy who's scoring. They're scoring all over the floor. So how do you guard them? I don't think that UConn's going to have an answer for that. So that being said, UConn came back from 19 points down to beat Duke. They beat Illinois on a night where they didn't particularly play well, and Illini was smoking through teams. So you know, if it turns into a competitive game, I won't be completely surprised. You know, there's the reason why UConn is here. There's NBA players on both sides of the court tonight. So, but again, if you're handicapping it, you're picking Michigan.
Yeah, it's interesting though. Like there are games, and I'm not saying just in basketball, college men's basketball, but where there are these dominant forces, and then just something happens right at the end. I guess the example I guess I'm thinking about is the what was it, the 2007 Patriots. What was that Patriots team that was like 17-0, right. And then, you know what I mean? Like, it does happen, right?
It does, but in that scenario, although, you know, football is a war of attrition out there, so it's tough to pull an upset. But like you know, you get turnovers, you have a ridiculous catch that's made off the top of your helmet. You know, Eli Manning knows how to play well in big games. I mean, these are the things we're going back to. So look, upsets happen all the time. If you want to talk college basketball, I mean, Villanova beat Georgetown when under, you know, back in the day when I was swimming in French Lick.
At French Lick,
but,
yes.
You know, right, but that you know, the 3-pointer wasn't you know, in the game back then. The shot clock wasn't there, so it was easier, you know, to take the air out of the ball and be able to pull upset against a Patrick Ewing-led Georgetown team that nobody thought was going to lose. And that's not quite the matchup tonight, for the record. You know, Michigan's not that heavy of a favorite. They're a 7-point favorite tonight. So I'm not. Look, UConn absolutely has a fighting chance tonight, but you know, it's a 10% chance to 15% chance.
I'm just wondering how much. So you don't put a whole lot of credence because, you know, Gabby was mentioning. Okay, so we're talking about possibly the third title in 4 years. That'd be like dynasty territory. It's so, you know, I was at your French Lick age when the Michigan Fab Five was playing, and I remember the timeout. Remember the Chris Webber timeout. And just things like that can happen, you know, when you're going up against a more experienced team that has just been there before. The nerves aren't going to be at the same level as perhaps the people who have never been in the final game before.
So I like that as an angle. But UConn, you know, the team's turned over. There's only, you've got two guys, you've got, I think, 5 players that have been with them in the last 2 years. I mean, college basketball is so different now with NIL that, you know, these teams, they have to figure out their roster basically every year because every kid's looking for where can I get the most money and where can I get the best playing time. Right. So UConn's rare in the fact that they actually have some continuity. Same thing for Michigan, by the way. So you look at how battle tested are they this year, and both of them obviously are enormously battle tested. They're in the championship game, so their nerves are going to play a part of it. It is the title game. It's a Monday night in a dome, which by the way I thought another interesting thing when you're playing in a dome, it's a lot harder to shoot if you're not used to it. I thought that really impacted Illinois,
why?
Whereas UConn had played in bigger spaces. You just don't have the same shooting background when it's 8,000 feet behind the hoop like it is in a dome. And UConn came up, they were comfortable in that environment. I didn't think Illinois was. So there's another excuse for Illini fans out there, not that it matters. But,
that's an interesting take.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
But that makes sense.
It does, yeah, to your depth.
Yeah, like, because your eyes have muscle memory too.
100%.
Like, that would actually make sense. Mark, give us your assessment overall of the tournament thus far. Has anything surprised you this year about it?
That's an interesting question. I mean, the overall assessment that I think people are making, I think it's accurate. Because of the money in college basketball right now, it's just so much harder for the underdog, the sleepers, the best stories historically in college basketball to break through. And you're seeing a lot of blue bloods here just making their way. Yeah. Because the separation is getting larger and larger. Dusty May, who's the head coach of Michigan, I mean, he's here because he took Florida Atlantic to the Final Four, which that was only a couple of years ago. Michigan's like, well, Juwan Howard, you're not getting it done. Let's go get this guy that somehow was able to figure it out. And let's put him in charge of some real money and see what happens. And this is what's happened. So this has just been Iowa was a great story, but that's not exactly that's not Winthrop getting through.
Right.
So it's been a lot of big time schools having big time performances.
Can we talk about some of this coaching lore that's going on? Like Dan Hurley, I feel like I've heard a lot about him. I don't know much. The guy's wearing like the same suit. Is that the one I'm hearing all this color about around these games?
I mean, people got their superstitions. I actually didn't know that. That wouldn't surprise me though.
Yeah, I guess
he's interesting.
Suit.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He's just interesting in that he's on the court watching. He's not likable at all. He's but then off the court he seems like this kind of relaxed dude. So I don't know, he's like when you talk about just like the coaches, like Dusty May seems a lot more easy to root for than the other side, but then Hurley has a part of him that's like, oh, he's actually kind of a decent guy when he gets away from basketball. Although I don't give people a lot of passes on that, like be a good guy everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. On spring break, I kind of was like loosely on my phone, like not as much, but I just kept seeing that like supposed headbutt thing between Dan Hurley. And it turned out to be the biggest non-story. That was a nothing burger, right?
It was, but I'm like, you are an insane person.
Yeah.
Like, I guess they were just playing around, but like he could have been teed up. That could have changed. I mean, they literally could have been eliminated because he acted like a complete lunatic after that. After the 3-ball goes in to beat Duke. Like, imagine if the official wasn't in the moment of fun or whatever you want to call it. It was like, you can't headbutt me. Technical, 2 free throws. Duke gets the ball. I mean, that would have been the story of all stories. But I'm glad the official didn't do that because that just, you're out there to ref. That's
that would have been a shame. That would have been a shame.
All right, Mark Carmen, what is your prediction for today?
Score-wise.
I'll go 95-82. Let's go with a 95-82 for Michigan to stamp it and become the first Big Ten team to have won a title since 2000, Michigan State. Which, by the way, I am rooting for that not to happen, even though because I want the Northwestern Wildcats to be the team that crosses the meridian and gets this done for the Big Ten, because I like, dare to dream, the Cats.
Dare to dream.
Sometime.
I'm with you.
But I think Michigan gets it done.
Mark Carmen, always good to see you. Safe travels on the Metro, sir.
Or Artemis II, whichever one.
He's on Artemis II.
We're almost home. I appreciate it. Sorry about this,
Good to see you. No, we appreciate it.
Talk to you next time.
Man, that's interesting that he's so confident about this Michigan team. They are a juggernaut. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I don't think I'm going to make it up to watch this thing because of our schedule.
No way.
These championship games, I don't know offhand what time, but it's usually like 8 or 9 p.m. No, they're not friendly to our morning shift. We need It's not fair.
It's not fair.
I always come in and turn straight to work. David, our EP in the morning, one of our EPs. What happened in Illinois last night? Like that kind of thing. It's just me.
Yeah, catch me up. Catch me up.
Catch me up.
Well, we'll have to catch you up on this fighter, local here.
Oh, yeah.
To Chicagoland. He's going to be competing this weekend. We'll tell you all about him coming up after this break.
Are you?
From the local stage to a national stage now, local fighter Valenti 300 Atsas is joining us here on Chicago Now, and it's the Elite Fight Night promotion, but this is going to be, what would you say, Jesse?
So Valenti is the Elite Fight Night champion here locally in Chicago, but he's getting his big break on Professional Fighters League this weekend.
I love it. Congratulations to you.
Congrats.
This is so exciting.
Thank you. I appreciate
All right, where
that.
in Chicagoland are you from?
So I'm from Northwest Indiana. I grew up in Crown Point, Indiana. I went to Valparaiso University, Maryville High School, and I've actually lived in the South Loop during around like the COVID time for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Representing.
So
Representing. And
representing.
this fight's happening steps away from where you spent a lot of time then, Wintrust Arena.
yeah. I was actually living down the street from there, right off Indiana Avenue, for like 2 years. So
Okay, I love
everything's
this.
coming full circle.
Yeah, because this is your big break, as Jesse said. And Jesse, thank you too for coming as well, promoter for Elite Fight Night. How does it feel being a part of the PFL? Is this a lifelong dream for you?
Yeah, this has been over half my life's work, and finally like culminating up to this final moment, which will take place Saturday. And it's always been like a dream for me to make it to, you know, the biggest MMA stage in the world. And now I wake up every day and I'm like, yeah, it's not a dream anymore, it's really happening. So yeah, it's my moment. It's going to be the biggest moment of my life up to this point.
I am super stoked for you. You got new fans in us. We're going to be rooting for our local guy, but can we hear a little bit about your how you match up against your opponent this weekend? How you feeling about that?
My opponent, he's definitely well experienced. He's actually fought on PFL before. When he did fight on PFL, he actually won. He's more experienced, but I just feel like, you know, every fighter has their time, and it's definitely my time now. And you know, I respect him. He's a good opponent, but wherever the fight takes place, we're more than ready, and we're ready to bring the heat. So.
All right, I like it. Jesse, How are you feeling ahead of this weekend? Obviously confident in him, but also just the excitement of having, you know, PFL back in Chicago at Wintrust.
Yeah, I'm super excited. PFL's consistently brought a great product to Chicago. They're coming back every year. They've been here when they were Bellator as well. Both of those companies have combined. But Volante's being a little humble. Volante has been on a run locally. He's the current EFN champion. He's the current 11 welterweight champion. This is his big break, and he's earned every piece of it. He's gone through the gamut of fighters locally. He's beat everybody locally. Right, wow. So now it's time for him to step up, and this is his weekend. I mean, it's really just what he said. It's a culmination of a decade's worth of work this guy's put in.
When did you recognize Volante as a standout? At what point in his trajectory were you like, oh, this guy's ready for the kind of the national stage here?
So the first time I worked with Volante, he was still an amateur, and we had a national amateur championship here in Chicago, and he didn't come out on top of that fight, but it was the best fight of the night, and he fought a very tough opponent that was maybe a little bit ahead of him in experience, so he took on a tough fight. The crowd loved him, and when I brought him back as an amateur and then as a professional, you can just see how excited the crowd was to see this guy fight, and people wanted to see him. So that's when I identified right away, this is the guy that has an opportunity to get to the top.
I will say, you had the it factor. Like when you come, you know that you're a fighter. Like you know that you're the real deal. Can I ask you, how did you find out that you were going to be a part of PFL, of this, you know, event? Was it kind of like a shock to you? Did they surprise you somehow? I don't know. Or was it just like you know, I knew this was coming and I'm going to accept it, and it wasn't really a surprise to me?
So after my last fight with EFN in November, I just had this like gut feeling that something was going to come, and I knew like after Jesse was putting the belt around my waist for his promotion on my last fight in November, I just had like this gut feeling, like this intuition, like this is the last time I'm gonna fight for EFN. Like I just kind of like felt like that, and I just kind of took in that moment. And then me and Jesse have been good friends for years outside of me fighting for him. And then his goal was always to like get me to like a bigger show, and it wasn't to hold me back and to keep him fighting for his promotion, even though I'm sure he would have loved it.
I love to have him back anytime he wants to come back. He fills the house every time.
Let's make that clear.
But I knew he saw like big things for me, and he ended up talking to PFL, and then he introduced them to me, and then they kind of like did their homework and scoped me out. Showed I was the #1 fighter in Indiana, that I was a top welterweight prospect in the Midwest. Pound for pound in Indiana, I'm ranked currently at #2. So I got like a decent finish rate. So I bring exciting fights. I bring, you know, everyone loves when they come and watch. It's always exciting. I got people who always tell me like, look, that was my first MMA event, but now I want to come to every one. And, you know, we love watching you fight. And so luckily Jesse ended up calling me. He goes, hey man, I got some news for you. And I just knew it was something big. I knew it was something coming, and I've been working towards it for over like 15 years. And it was always my goal, even as a kid, to be a professional athlete. I was originally a football guy.
Oh.
And then after I kind of came to the realization that, kid, you're not going to the NFL, like I started getting into combat sports.
I was going to ask you about kind of your early days as a fighter and kind of when you knew that this sport was for you. How young were you? So it was like a high school age or college?
Probably like middle school. I remember when the first UFCs were coming on, and I was watching, and I was like, when football's done, I'm going to do that. I don't know when, but I'm going to do that.
What was it about like?
Yeah.
I've just been like that since I was a kid. I was always into like, I don't know if you guys like watch any cartoons, but Dragon Ball Z, like I would sprint off the bus just to like watch.
To watch it?
And it was just like, how strong can I get? Like I want to be like that. Like I want to keep like getting stronger and fight the best. And like I was the little kid at the party who always like started fights with my big cousins. They'd beat me up and I go cry, and then I come back again. Like I wasn't a bad kid.
Yeah.
But I was just like, I was a little
You weren't
bit
backing down though.
Yeah, I was like a little bit of a roughhouser. Like I wanted to see where I was at all the time. I was obsessed.
You're tough.
Yeah.
Jesse, can you speak on the talent that we have locally here in Chicago when it comes to, fighters?
Absolutely. We have a great fight scene here in Chicago. There's several promoters out there other than EFN as well. And they get a good start and get a good base going to grow in their career. Then they get up to bigger stages like ours where we're at the Hard Rock Casino and we got big, bright, shiny lights. We're recording for Fox Chicago Plus. They get exposure and they grow right up the line by having tough fights at local events, and they step up to the regional events like EFN, and then they get that call that Vellante gets, and that call, it was exciting for me not only to be able to offer it to Vellante, but the way they did it. They've committed to Chicago. They're going to come here several times a year. They're looking to put Chicago talent on the card. And there's not a lot of national promoters and promotions that are out there doing that today. I think if you're going to come to Chicago, our guys should get a shot there.
Sure.
And PFL sees that, and they've given local guys a shot on this undercard, and they're going to be able to fight at the Wintrust Arena on a national stage, and just super excited for this guy.
What was the process to get him on the card and have him be a part of Saturday night?
Sure. So obviously we have MMA fighters fight on our events all the time, and as they grow and get higher up in rank, you'll have national promoters call you and ask you questions about certain guys. I've developed a relationship with PFL, and they always give me a ring. Hey, who's the next guy? Who's the guy coming out of Chicago? Well, he's the answer this time through, right? So that's kind of how that process works. And not all the big national promoters will reach out to the local scene. They do, and I'm really appreciative of it.
I just had to ask because I'm so curious. Gosh, the only time I've ever kind of been in like a fist fight situation, I was trying to break up a fight, between a friend of mine and a drunk guy. And I remember this guy, he kicked me really hard, like in the butt, and I didn't really react. I was kind of trying to. In the tush. I don't have much padding back there, but it didn't really hurt, but I was more in the mindset of just like separating these guys. But one thing that I always notice, like when basketball players start fighting with one another, they just flail. It's like almost like they can't land a punch. I don't know if the adrenaline's going, but like, do you have any advice for if you do find yourself in a situation like that in terms of staying calm and like being focused and focusing on self-defense or anything like that, or a mindset to be in if you find yourself in a situation like that?
We're not encouraging street fighting.
Exactly. I'm not, but I do kind of just wonder what mindset you have to be in to like.
So you definitely want to be calm. Easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
But you definitely want to be calm, and 9 times out of 10, when you see like people in like a street situation, their hands are always down. The first thing you want to do is like create space, stay away from the person, and keep your hands up like this. This signals like I'm not a threat, but I do have my hands in my face,
right?
And I need you to back up and get out of my personal space and start walking away.
What kind of fist is the right fist? In case,
Well,
in case I need
in case you need it. We're not promoting promoting street violence. Get away and walk away.
But if you are a fighter, I have a cage for you to hit me up.
We got you if you got to take that anger out. But you always want to hit with like the 2 biggest part of your knuckles right here. So one thing that you can do is you don't want to be tight when you do it. You always want to be loose. But if you flex your forearm a little bit and you angle your fist, it's going to angle you right at the spot that you want to make contact.
It's funny that you don't have a curved
these two
nails
right here.
like me.
Now that could be a problem.
These 2 right here.
Yeah.
These 2 right there. And
so you're not always going to hit flush, but the idea is to kind of hit with the whole of your fist, where the knuckles are showing.
Okay, I have to ask you another question about your training, especially now that you're, the week of your fight.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for something like this, and then how do you kind of do you almost have a deload this week, or is it like hitting at all cylinders, like you were going?
So that's a really good question, and that's a lot of people ask that, and so this is like kind of the deload week. I've put in all the work already. Nothing's going to change in the span of a week, especially fight week. So a lot of fighters, especially like the young and inexperienced ones, 9 times out of 10, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but a lot of times fighters go in overtrained for their fights. So you're actually doing yourself a disservice. Yeah, they're burnt out, and I've been there. I've done that before, to where I've gone into a fight, and I'm like, I know my gas tank is better than this. What's going on? But it's just like, there's a discipline in fighting that also occurs during fight week, and that is kind of deloading on your training, which is what a lot of people don't realize. And maybe their coaches don't even know and don't tell them. But this week for me, it's all about visualization, making weight, which is like the biggest stress for fighters. This has actually been my best weight cut yet. And kind of just like visualizing, breaking a sweat, no heavy contact, nothing like that. And just having a steady weight progression all the way up until I weigh in Friday morning.
Wow. Amazing.
That makes sense. That makes
you know
sense.
It's easy for me to visualize because I already see your hand up.
Yes.
I already see it. Thank you,
Jesse,
so
how
much.
can folks, if they want to hit the event on Saturday night, what do they need to know, Jesse?
So Friday night is weigh-in. Saturday night is the fight. We're at Wintrust Arena. Go to pfl.com/ATSIS. If you'd like to support a local fighter, that's where you do. You can buy tickets. He'll get credit for bringing that Chicago crowd to the Wintrust Arena. But yeah, this Saturday night, super excited for this event. Come out and support your local fighters.
And you can see EFN on Fox Chicago Plus. So if people are interested, then they can tune in right there, which is a great part.
And if they want to see the up-and-coming talent, August 7th, we're at the Hard Rock Casino for EFN 30.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
for
Good
being
luck.
here.
Good luck. We'll be pulling for you. We'll be pulling for you.
We appreciate it, guys.
Northwest Indiana's
Amazing.
own.
Oh, yeah.
Love it. All right. We're going to take a quick break here on Chicago Now. Going to get to all our Monday trending stories when we come back. Do this. Okay, that means you got to keep your distance. And now I know. I'm so glad I know. Like Anthony, the basic move.
It's take a lot more for me to back down.
Man,
okay? That
was great. I'm a new Volante fan.
And you know,
300.
he actually said that maybe these nails will help me out. You know, instead of be a crutch for me. I mean, maybe they'll break if my punch is hard enough. But
you could do some damage with those, Gabs.
You know, this isn't street fighting. This is say if I were to spar somebody, you know, on the street.
Yeah, just hypothetically.
Maybe you don't know I'm sparring. That'd be crazy. If you walk up to me having a fight with somebody on the street, please call the police because something's wrong with me.
Don't worry. We got your back.
Okay. Perfect.
This is interesting. Okay, there was a lot of like trending parent stories. This one is a head scratcher, but it actually makes sense now that I process this. But get this, guys, and this has to do with toddlers. All right, parents are yelling a specific name, and it apparently is stopping toddler tantrums in their tracks. So we have a quick clip here.
Bye-bye. Jessica, come here. Come here, Jessica. He's crying. Come here. Are you gonna stop crying because Jessica's coming? You want Jessica to come?
Yeah. No way.
Did you see that?
Yes.
Instantaneous tantrum cessation.
I don't know.
A viral TikTok trend shows parents stopping toddler tantrums by shouting the name Jessica unexpectedly. This came from Florida mom Tiffany Ortega. She tried this method with her 2-year-old Luca, and his crying immediately stopped. California mom Avanthia Davis had a similar outcome, a successful outcome with her daughter Delilah, and then experimented with other names and got similar results. So experts are suggesting that the trick works due to the element of surprise, which redirects a toddler's attention away from whatever they were upset about.
It totally makes sense. It totally makes. I think actually would even help with an adult.
I know.
You know, like.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a name to like yell out at you, like, you know, I can't even think of a name.
Karen will get your attention. That'll get your attention. Yeah. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe someone in the back can help us. Was Jessica the new Karen? Is the name Jessica the new Karen?
Ooh.
Yes. Yes, because we had a trending topic like that months and months ago. That like our generation's new Karen is Jessica.
Is Jessica?
And we disagree because I know a lot of sweet Jessicas.
Yeah. Whereas you can't say the same about Karen.
I don't know.
I'm kidding.
Although
I actually think there's a story to be done where we do like a town hall meeting with all Karens to see how their lives have changed.
But you know, they might not be their true authentic self.
That's true.
Set them up with bad customer service.
Back and see how it.
We'll have a hidden camera there.
So Jessica's the new. Well, what's the male? Wait, didn't we do what the male equivalent of Karen is? Is it?
Is it Chad?
No, Chad is the Uber Chad. That's the looks maxing thing, which by the way I couldn't stop talking about 2 weeks ago.
Gen Z declared. Oh, I know. I was
Jessica, the new millennial. Karen, interesting.
We're waiting on news of the new Greg, Todd, and Chad. So Chad is making the list.
According to Google, but Chad, I feel like Chad is taken. It's like that's the looks maxing. You know, he's a Chad. He's like the
kind of like bro.
He's like the alpha.
Yeah, alpha bro.
The alpha bro.
Okay.
I got to try this on Jero.
This is so cute. I saw the video for the first time a couple days ago, and I actually sent it to a few people. I'm like, this is like just
what yelling Jessica?
Yeah, the yelling Jessica. It was a video of a bunch of kids sitting at a kitchen counter, like siblings, and the youngest one is having a tantrum, and they all, even the other little kids were in on it. Jessica, and the little girl stops having a tantrum.
I'm trying it.
Around too.
I will, I'm gonna try to roll on it too.
You need to.
I'm gonna try to roll on it too, because my kid is still, I think he's on the tail end of the tantrum age, but and I will say that to get him out of a lot of tantrums, Gabby, is you have to redirect. Yeah. It's not about like, hey, they don't know how to calm down. You can't just be like, hey, you use those regulating tools, Jero, and calm down. No, you have to introduce something else. So we will try to, I don't know, whether it's give them another a toy or a new task, anything to get their mind off of what they are currently upset about, or else they'll spiral. So actually that does kind of make sense.
Great parenting advice.
There you go. Yell Jessica at your kid.
Oh boy. Shall we talk about another
Sure. Let's go to our next trender.
Was taking over our show plus everyone else's TV.
And social media feeds.
Yeah, Taylor Frankie Paul, how Disney canceled Bachelorette. She was a Bachelorette because of what was it?
Domestic violence
allegations with her and her ex Dakota Mortensen, I think it is, Mortensen. So apparently Dakota was also part of another reality TV show, Vanderpump Villa, which is very popular as well. So I guess he'll be edited out of Vanderpump Villa season 3, and it's supposed to premiere April 16th on Hulu. And the production of season 5 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, which is how Taylor Frankie Paul got popular, was that same TV show. That show has been paused as season 5 for the time being until they investigate the domestic violence allegations between Mortensen and Paul, which is crazy because these are all very, very popular shows, right?
And it's kind of remarkable the kind of amount of damage that this woman has left in her wake, with regard to the domestic violence, because obviously this guy's involved, but he wasn't. Like, this guy's not charged with anything, It was at least it appeared on video that she was the aggressor in that. But listen to the storyline
the lore.
The storyline, and this is the Dad Talk men, Dad Talk,
So it's the
T-O-K.
same Mormon wives, but it's like.
But it's
'cause they
Dad
call
Talk
each
because
other
Mom Talk, Dad
that's how
Talk.
they-
So a teased storyline shows the Dad Talk men visiting Lisa Vanderpump's retreat in England, where Mortensen, the husband or the ex, allegedly engaged in a four-way kiss and had
Oh.
sex with one of the participants. So
Male or female?
you know that the producers of the show are just like, oh man, that was one of our best subplots.
Yes, exactly.
And now we have to edit it out. And yeah, and apparently Paul.
But he's still expected to be on that new Alex Cooper's Unwell Winter Games
What
show.
is that? Unwell Winter Games?
I think it's a bunch of celebrities getting together and it's like a game show, essentially.
Okay.
Maybe Adina can
Okay.
clear that up for us. But yeah, so
Man.
we'll see. We'll see.
We
Then,
shall see.
There might be more eyes on that show.
Wild waves in the world
drama.
of reality TV, Gabriella.
You know,
Yes.
I actually was thinking as I was somewhat reading through this earlier, I was like, if I were to watch more reality TV, I think a lot of this would be cleared up for the audience. You know, maybe I'd have a better shot at explaining it. But I do try my best. I try to do my research ahead of time. But sometimes I just sit there and I watch the shows and I can't. Like
I've never gotten
HGTV,
addictive.
Nothing
I've never gotten
happens on
addictive.
HGTV. They just get the house done in 30 minutes. It looks great.
Those I love.
You know, the
Those
only
I
drama
love.
really that's going on is in my own head. Like if I don't like the outcome of the house, you know, that's about it. Or a wife or husband who's like doesn't agree with their partner. That's really the only drama that goes on.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we have a very special guest, big star, is going to be
Yes.
joining us via Zoom. Abigail Spencer, the star of Fox's Best Medicine, is going to join us to tell us a little bit about the series and also going to preview the season finale, which airs tonight. Tomorrow night.
Tuesday.
Tomorrow night.
Come on, Anthony.
We'll be right back.
I'm John.
Dr. Montgomery.
Oh, hello.
What are you doing here?
Oh, I came to see Martin. And I thought I'd stay here. Got 5 stars on Yelp.
You came to see Martin. Why?
To rekindle what we once had. I think it's clear he wants to pick up where we left off, so.
Yeah, clear to both of you. Did he like tell you that or?
Not outright. But I'm very intuitive. Why else would he refer you to me? He's interested.
How perceptive.
I love it. The season finale of Fox's Best Medicine airs tomorrow night. We're talking more about it with Abigail Spencer, who plays Louisa on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, I love Chicago. I wish I was there in person.
I'm so glad. Well, Chicago loves you then. You know, I have heard such good things about this show. I have it on my list to start.
Past our bedtime.
Because it is past our bedtime. We can rewatch it, Anthony.
Yes, I know.
But tell us the premise of the show, because Best Medicine is kind of a play on a very popular Doc Martin, correct?
Yes, Doc Martin, that is a legacy show in the UK that ran for 20 plus years. And I mean, the basic premise is that this big city surgeon moves to his summer where his Aunt Sarah, played by Annie Potts, lives, and he goes there because he's running from something that happened in Boston. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You got to watch. But he goes there to become the general practitioner of the small town Port Wynne in Maine, and he has no bedside manner. He doesn't necessarily like people, and this town won't let him hide. So comedy ensues, and I play Louisa Gavin, who he meets, and they don't like each other right away. And she's on the town council to see if he should come be the doctor, and she's kind of on to him that he's not right for this town. And I play Louisa, and she's the town school teacher, and she just broke up with the town sheriff. Everyone's in the town. So I would say if you love Northern Exposure, if you love Schitt's Creek, if you love Doc Hollywood, this is kind of like if the three of those had a baby.
Oh, that's cool.
I love
That's a cool way of explaining it. Now, with this character of yours, Louisa, what have you liked most about playing this character?
Well, I think it's really fun. Well, look, the tone of the show is a throwback to, I think, the great 90s rom-coms, and I really wanted to do something of that era, something that feels timeless but also very specific. Look, we have an incredible cast. Like I said, we have Annie Potts, we have Josh Charles, we have Josh Zagata, we have Cree, we have Jason Vesey, we have Steven Spinella. It's a really Didi Khan. I mean, hello. We've got such an incredible cast of characters, and you see Eliza Coupe, who comes on to play Dr. Eden Montgomery in the last 2 episodes of this season. Like, I feel very rich with just wonderful humans who are so good at their jobs and can kind of dance between kooky, comedy, chaos, grounded. Like, to be able to do that tone is really specific. And you know, I've been acting a really long time, and I feel so lucky to be in a troupe of actors who take it really seriously, but not themselves seriously, because it really does become your life. So we're becoming a community off camera as well.
I love it. Yeah, a lot of big names there. Because I did a quick look up when someone recommended it to me, and I want to run this by you, Abigail. That they pretty much said, hey, this is just a fun show. Like, this is not your basic doctor show where there's blood and guts and crime and police chases and all that kind of stuff. It's just like kind of.
I mean, those are great if you like that sort of thing.
Of course, it is. But that's not really what this show. It's more lighthearted. Would you say that's correct?
Yes. Yes, it's good, clean fun. You can watch it with the whole family, and it goes down nice and easy. I mean, it's really comforting and cozy, and I think it's a nice juxtaposition. And you're right, there's not really, I don't know what else is like it on television, because it also is very grounded. It's grounded in the world. It's very cinematic. It's beautiful to look at, I think. So having that blend makes it quite unique, and also just seeing people overcome small everyday things is part of the delight of it. So it's very, very relatable.
Absolutely. Now, we are getting the wrap right now, and we know you have to go, but without spoiling anything,
you guys,
anything that you can tell us about what to expect from the finale tomorrow night.
You can expect Norwegians. Okay. There's the Norwegians have come. Portland gets a sister city, so there's a plot twist. You can expect maybe a surprise birth or two. You can also expect, as you saw in the clip, that Dr. Best's ex-girlfriend, who now is Louisa's OBGYN and fertility specialist, has come to town. so it's layer upon layer, and it really is a delight. I mean, the show really is a delight. So I feel so lucky that people are taking to it.
Well, congrats on one season in the book.
Set for season
2.
Yeah, season 2.
Yes, Abigail Spencer, everybody. Nice to see you, and congrats.
Nice to see you. Thank you.
Can't wait to watch. Okay, finale tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Medicine. She was so sweet.
She is sweet.
You know what? No
Very
wonder
sweet.
Chicago loves her just so much.
And I'm glad she loves Chicago.
I am too.
So here, Mike Kaplan is so excited today. He is so excited. He's like a kid in the candy store.
Is.
And I know he's going to be following Artemis II from Studio C, as he calls it.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
I don't know how the guy has any more room for facts than
I
his
know.
brain.
I know.
Right?
I know. Not only does he know a lot about the mission, he's like, now you know that Artemis is the sister of Apollo, and they're the.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know
They
what?
came
Mike,
from
whatever you
Zeus,
say,
and-
I will trust. Actually.
The Greek goddess of plenty, or he knows all the mythology.
One thing that you had to bring to
Okay.
space, if it was like a, you know, I got to bring it, right? A non-negotiable. That's what I'm trying to say. To space. What
My great grandmother, and when I was younger, I cycled across America. Do you know this?
What?
On my bike, yeah, from Virginia Beach to San Francisco. And before we left,
With your grandparents?
no, just with my best friend.
Okay.
But my dad gave me this little medallion that my great grandmother used to wear for good luck. So that is the object that I would bring. We're talking about Artemis II and their food menu, by the way.
Yes,
It's another
we are.
trender. Well, what about you? What would you bring up there?
My special pillow, of course.
Your special
The comfiest pillow
The comfy.
that exists on this earth.
There are weight limits. There's like my medallion would get through. Your big pillow, Gabby, that would
Actually,
not
here's
be
the
an
thing,
option.
It's not really that big. It's
Oh, it
kind
isn't?
of like flat. It's kind of overused, actually.
Okay.
It's clean.
You
people. It's
still
clean.
have. My takeaway from this,
But I
you
have
still
a-
have a blankie.
Old pillow.
It's
somewhat,
kinda-
but I kind of got this pillow when I was older. It's just like it just hits the right spots.
Hits
you know?
the right spots.
It hits the right spots.
I'm
And
so
I think that they
curious.
Make room for it, especially if they want made that bad. You know.
Yeah.
They got to make.
Hey,
room for it.
it's me and the pillow or no me at all. I get it, Gabby. All right. The reason we bring this up, everybody, the Artemis II food menu. People are impressed with how universal it is. Apparently, like look at that. Listen to this. The menu includes over 10 different beverages. We're talking coffee, green tea, lemonade, cocoa, smoothies, and breakfast drinks. Breakfast drinks, all right? Desserts, pudding, cookies, cobbler, chocolate cake, candy-coated almonds. Gabby, we have come a long way from the space ice cream that we used to, you used to get samples of that. I don't know, did they bring
No,
that to your elementary
I don't
school?
know.
It tasted like cotton candy. And that was in my mind, that was like all the astronauts get, like a freeze-dried food. But this sounds like a pretty decent
I will
menu.
say, when I thought, which has been very little, where I've had to ponder on this.
Yeah.
When I thought of astronauts eating an Earth, like in today's day, I did assume, yeah, it'd be like a pouch, and that everything would
Right.
not be solid,
Yeah.
right? That everything would.
You
be kind
eat it out of a
liquid
pouch,
form.
and it's like freeze-dried, and it's awful.
One thing I did hear, and again, I'm hoping it's true, but that the astronauts, because there's a big list of drinks, right, on there, but that they can only have 2 specialty drinks per day. I think that's true. It's not actually on our card.
Oh, it isn't, but you
Something-
read that?
Yeah, through my own research,
So you got to go easy on the breakfast
coffee,
smoothies.
On the breakfast smoothies.
Okay.
The one thing I don't see on this list is a lot of protein.
Yeah, I was noticing that too. It's like
there's some
tortillas.
veggies. Yeah, there's
And mac and cheese.
beef
Hey,
brisket.
beef briskets on there, but couscous, and then couscous. That's a like a grain, or is that a pasta? Couscous a grain or a pasta?
I think it's a grain.
Tortillas.
I don't know, actually, Anthony.
But
almond butter, I guess, like peanut butter, but still, for the most part, and maybe this isn't everything, all right? Maybe this is not everything. This is just a, curated list that they want to share with media. But
Mike
they're not really making as many gains up there, maybe as
No,
they should.
Gabby and I always talk about making gains.
That's one thing.
Creatine monohydrate, they're
couldn't
going to need that.
handle not
But
having creatine.
this afternoon, I think it's around 2 o'clock, they're going to be making that. I think it's a few hours that they're going to be on the far side of the moon.
You got
Don't
it.
call it the dark side of the moon. That's a Pink Floyd thing.
Yeah.
The far side of the moon. So I cannot wait to see these footage. The images that are going to be coming out of this mission later today. Get ready, everybody.
Anthony, I am so glad to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be
I hope you had a
back.
Great vacation, but you know what? It's work time, buddy.
It's work time. I'm locking back in.
You have a whole week, okay?
And we have another hour of Chicago Now coming up right after this short
And
break.
Saquon is going
to be replacing me, so you're upgrading for the 11 o'clock hour. We'll be right back.
11:01 on the dot. Welcome back to Chicago Now, a whole other hour of fun, and I'm joined by Zaquan. I'm so glad to have you
I
here.
know, it's I don't get to do this a lot, so this is really fun.
I know, you're out on the street giving us the news of the day, and you do such a nice job. I know that you filled in for the show before, right?
Once with Anthony,
Okay.
yes, and I think that was again one time.
And it's going to be so much better this time.
Yeah,
just kidding. No, but I want to hear how you're liking Chicago, because like you're fairly new. How many months have you been at Fox Chicago now?
Oh my gosh, I think maybe 3 or 4 months now. And like, it's so hard to feel like you're at home when you move to a new city, because you're dealing with like all the unpacking and the moving and finding an apartment and like making friends in the city too. So I think there's been a lot of those challenges, but we're starting to get through that, and I think I'm just looking forward to summertime. Like everyone's like, summertime in Chicago is the best. Never experienced summer in Chicago.
Oh my, you have such a treat coming your way. And I was actually thinking about you the other day, that you moved here kind of at the perfect time. Like, sure, it was cold, like, and moving during the winter is not ideal, but you are settled in for when this fun comes.
Right, yeah, like I make this confession. I have never been to the Bean. I know, groundbreaking, I know.
We can almost see it from here.
I know, it's crazy. So here's the story. I've been to the Bean, but every single time I went to go like take a little selfie, at the Bean, it was under construction.
Oh.
Like, what was up with that? And like, maybe I'm just missing the story. I don't know why there would need to be construction on the Bean.
They had to get the man out of the Bean. Do you remember that story?
No.
Okay, there's like some conspiracy theory that there is an actual man in the Bean.
I heard about that, but was that?
No, people actually, I guess, believe it. Sorry if you at home believe it. I don't know. I
didn't realize I was stirring the pot here.
But no, it was under construction for a while. Some of the pavement around.
Yes.
It looks nice and new and perfect for you, so you can go snap a selfie, whatever you want to do.
Hopefully it's like
you should go early in the morning. And
girl, when?
Also you're working, I guess. Okay, on the weekend, go early in the morning so you have it all to yourself.
Okay.
And you can like snap the most epic photo ever.
But like, here's the thing. At this point, I've been in Chicago for how many months? Like, I don't even care for the selfie. You know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
true.
It's one of those things that you just do it, and then what? You snap a selfie, and then you leave 5 seconds later.
Yeah. That's kind of true.
Right. Maybe I'm stirring the pot a little bit. I don't know.
I did battle. My wedding weekend, I had a bunch of family coming, and I took them to the Bean like a couple days after, just because like I wanted to see it, and like it was we didn't have any reservations or anything, so I felt like I needed to show around and stuff, and just going around Grant Park and Millennium Park is just nice. So I went there, and everyone's like looking around, they're all excited, and then once we take like 1 or 2 pictures, we're like,
yep, all right, we're just gonna linger now.
Yeah. I could see that, but you know what? It's nice to have, and I love seeing people go out there and enjoy it.
Oh my God, like look at how many people are out there right now. That's insane.
And it makes me very happy that the sun is shining. It looks nice and shiny because it rained overnight, so
things got a nice little polish overnight.
Things are looking up.
Yes.
Is there like a top thing that you have been doing here in the city that's like become, I don't know, monthly routine, like something you've really found joy in? Maybe it's a coffee shop, maybe it's
oh my God, I'm gonna sound like
part of the
loser.
city.
I don't know. I feel like Chicago is such an active community.
Yeah.
You did like High Rocks, didn't you? Didn't you do something like
but you're
that?
gonna do it with me next year.
Yeah, that's funny. We'll see about that. But I think like trying out all of these different fitness classes, they have so many different types of classes here. Yeah. I did check out the Lakefront Trail. That was like, a must. And then I lost my ID. So I don't know if I'm just like cursed or what, but that was an experience.
It's really windy there, I guess. So did it like fly?
I don't know. Listen, I went for my first run since a marathon, which obviously I had to sneak that one in there.
Oh, I didn't know that you did a marathon. Humble brag.
Yeah,
Humble brag here.
it was a phase for sure. But then I was like, but you know what? It's been a while. I haven't ran since the marathon. I'll try going on a run. All of a sudden I come back home and my ID's gone. But honestly, it kind of worked out because like I needed a new ID anyways. Since I moved here, I'm an Illinois resident now officially. So.
Oh well, we're so happy to have you. And again, you're doing such a great job, and I'm glad to have you next to me too. Shall we talk about what's coming up?
Yes.
Show.
Let's do it.
So there's been stories for a while, and you've heard the same thing where. It's kind of like, retail. We've seen less traffic on Michigan Avenue. Even, some small businesses not doing as well, partially because of COVID, big part of that. But it looks like we are kind of on the up and up somewhat. So retail and grocery activity in downtown Chicago is starting to evolve into a new chapter of success. after those setbacks. So now more businesses are seeking to get on in here. So we're going to have an expert come on and tell us some of the background with that. Then a local organization is joining us.
Yeah, we know that She Is Heard is working to raise support and awareness for Black maternal health with the special event that's happening next Friday. So we'll talk all about that as well. Going back to the grocery thing though too, you talk about COVID era. I feel like it was such a popular time to be able to order groceries and stuff as well. That's kind of interesting. I'm excited to dive into it.
Exactly. And sometimes, you know, a lot of people would argue that we need more grocery stores around our area. But first, we have some trending topics. We just talked to Mark Carmen with CJHGO Sports Podcasts. He was joining us from the Metro, Anthony and I. Are you a big college basketball fan or basketball fan?
I'm a huge basketball fan, but I feel like I shouldn't really put my opinions out there because I feel like I'm gonna make some fans angry. You know, I am a Minnesota sports fan after all, so
that's true.
This is where we start to ruffle some feathers.
It sounds like you're loyal.
Yeah.
You kind of have to be.
Yeah.
We won't mention the Bears, okay? That's where we have to draw the line here. But were you able to watch the Michigan-Arizona game?
Yes, well, and kind of like you, I did stay up for the UConn-Illini game because that was the one that I was like, I need to know what goes.
Yeah.
What happens when I go back into work, you know? I like caught some of the game, but honestly, it lost so much steam that I was like, this is boring.
So I saw the 10-point lead, and I was like, okay, I kind of see where this is going.
Right.
So maybe it's not the game to, you know, force myself to stay up and watch.
And everyone was buzzing about this game. Like, this was like the game. I mean, all of my guy friends were like, oh my gosh, we're going to go out and watch this game, and like, it's going to be great. And then, you know, the game wasn't even over, and they're like, I think we're just going to go home.
I know. It was kind of a snooze fest, as Brian Jackson said this morning. But, you know, the Illini game, it was okay. Seeing that little bit of a comeback from the Illini.
Yeah.
It just, you know, but UConn, it just, like Mark Harmon had said, it just really was a shooting game at the end of the day where Illinois didn't do as much as they should have.
Yeah, and UConn is just, you know, they're known for having like such a strong basketball program. I mean, you think of best basketball programs in the country, I think UConn would come to mind right away.
Are their ladies really good too? Didn't they just
Paige Beckers, Paige Beckers played for UConn.
And UCLA just won last night.
Correct.
The championship.
Correct.
Was it against UCLA and UConn? Okay.
So
I should have been paying more attention to the ladies as well.
Yeah, I mean, the women are really great as well. I honestly don't know how they're doing right now. Like, you know, I don't know what their season has been like, but I know that once again, they've just had such a strong program for women's and men's. I mean, Paige Beckers. Hello.
I feel like when you think of basketball, like good college basketball, you think of UConn. And that's honestly just watching March Madness.
Totally.
I don't think I've really, honestly, I don't keep up with basketball, even professional basketball, as much as I do, like, you know, football or hockey or any of those kind of things. But I need to start paying a little bit more attention, especially to our Bulls. But I thought a lot of, like, something I found really funny with the games was the coaching, especially with Illinois and UConn.
Oh, yeah.
Dan Hurley.
Oh, yeah.
They were saying how the whole headbutting situation where he, like,
literally
low-key headbutted a ref.
Correct.
Could have been really bad.
Very bad. And I'm surprised that more people, I mean, I guess people are talking about it, but like that clip.
Yeah, it could have been a technical foul. And literally
and it
lost this super
what ended up
game with, I don't think anything.
I just, that's what I was thinking
and
too.
You know what?
Came out.
Whatever. You know, happier it is.
Life moves on, you know?
It does. But he's also wearing, I think, the same suit. And I need to look this up before I'm just like spewing lies. But I think he's wearing the same suit every game. And at this point, like, the seams are coming undone.
Wait.
And his wife is like, how about, like, let's try something else, you know? And he's like, no, I got to wear my lucky suit.
So he's wearing the same suit every single time?
Apparently.
But how often do you even wash suits anyway? Because I feel like, okay, and maybe this is also a hot take. Like, I don't know what kind of households everyone was raised in, but if you didn't, like, sweat in your clothes sometimes, like,
yeah,
okay, I'm going to rewear it.
Here's a Sports Illustrated article right now. UConn's Dan Hurley is one of the most expressive coaches in men's basketball. He doesn't shy away from showing his true emotions and reactions on the court, blah, 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 blah.
Give me the suit stuff.
But essentially, okay, where is it? Okay, he named the Navy two-piece suit his lucky suit, and with his Huskies heading to the national championship game on Monday night versus Michigan, he isn't ready or willing to hang up the suit for the season. It's obviously been working, feeding his superstitions, because apparently he's superstitious, which you could say a lot of coaches are the same.
Okay, but like here's the thing too, now it's getting kind of nasty because I know he's sweating in that suit.
Okay, his quote, "Suit's in bad shape. I'm not gonna lie to you guys," Hurley said. "The pants are fine. It's a jacket that is really, the lining is the problem. There's like 3 holes when I stick my arm in the right sleeve. There's like 3 different places, and if you can see it, it's a lining that's coming through and going past the dress shirt.
What?
That's been my biggest problem.
That's insane.
The lining is a mess.
My question is, though, can he still show up wearing the same suit, but can he also like make some time for these little fixes, or does that mess up the whole good luck charm thing?
To him, it sounds like it might. I think he's delusional enough to think like, hey, you know what? This is
that's
like,
a little ridiculous. Yeah, that's a little ridiculous.
But he did say, I think one of the commentators did say that he will get it fixed once they you know,
win or lose.
Win or lose this national championship.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's insane. I feel like it would also just start to stink.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
suits are hot,
he
right?
has
like
to be sweating bullets on the court. You know, it's not like, and especially with him jumping around.
That's what I'm saying.
Mark Carmen made a good point that he's not like the most lovable coach just because of like how he acts.
Really?
But then at the same time, people don't mind him off the court. I don't know. I haven't really watched him that much other than the tournament.
Well, I guess, I don't know. I mean, when you're in the public eye that much and you're kind of known for being the face of a really great program, it's like, I guess. I mean, people are going to be opinionated about it, you know.
That's true.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Of who he is.
Of what you eat for lunch.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Okay, another big story that we've been following, Artemis II.
Yeah.
Were you able to see this launch? Wait, you don't seem too excited about it.
No. For me,
on,
when I think about the Artemis II launch, I just think about the toilet problem. Like,
that's true.
That's where my head goes right away. I think it's really cool. I watched the launch live. My boyfriend got home that night and he was like, do you care about this? Like, I don't, and I was like, yeah, this is cool. But once again, the conversation shifted into how there was a big problem with the toilets.
But like, I feel like that's just like so little of a problem in the grand scheme of things.
It is.
Because I was totally like, oh, you know, like what if they had a fuel leak for a while, you know, when they were first trying to take out the rocket and they went back into the shed, I don't know what to call it, whatever it is. And then it got fixed and it came back out. So I was like, okay, if the toilet problem's the only thing going on, it's unfortunate that the astronaut cook had to fix things. The lady on board actually had to fix things.
How do you like fix that?
You know what? That's a really good question.
I did want to be an astronaut when I was a kid.
You did?
Yeah. Like, you know, I talked to some of my friends and they're like, oh, I wanted to be a ballerina and I wanted to do this. Like, I wanted to be either a dentist or an astronaut. Super random, or a firefighter.
Wow.
Like, really like, you know, responsive careers.
But also so different.
I know. And here I am. So that worked out really well.
Teeth, or I want to go up in space, or I want to, you know, fight fires.
I used to I mean, this is kind of getting off the rails at this point, but like in high school, I would shadow dentists, you know?
That is so cute.
Yeah, and I would be like, hi, and then in my free time, I would look up on YouTube oral surgeries, and I would like, watch root canal videos because I was so intrigued. But that did not happen. I didn't want to go to school for that long, and I didn't want to be in that debt.
You know what? You have great teeth, so maybe you found out something through all your research. If I have any teeth questions, I'll go to you. That's so funny.
I did have Invisalign. Okay, but that's not the story. That's not the story. Sorry, we're getting off the rails.
Back to Artemis, guys. The headline is "Crew saw a life-changing view." I want you to sit here, Say, and I want you to think about you having to literally go up in space. I know that sounds cliche, but sit here and think. How would you be feeling during that liftoff?
Oh my God, so excited. Here's the thing, you have to understand that I love this stuff. Like, I rock climbed and I would like do some really crazy stuff. You know, I like to live like on the edge. Yeah. Okay. I don't know, I need that. Otherwise I'm like, okay, I'm out, this is boring. I feel like from the moment of takeoff, like I'm like, oh my God, I'm so giddy, I can't even focus on what's actually happening.
You're juiced up.
That's what yeah. It's like an adrenaline rush.
See, I'm different.
Really?
Have you seen Project Hail Mary?
No.
I watched it recently.
No, I know. Everyone says
it actually really is good.
Yeah.
I didn't think that
I've seen clips.
I didn't really understand truly like what the plot was going to be, but I like doing that to myself where I go in with no expectation. And so the plot was a little different than I expected.
Yeah.
Anyways, but you know, part of the beginning, spoiler alert, sorry. Well, not really. They pretty much have to put this guy in a coma in order to get him into space.
Yeah.
And that would have to be me.
That's like
that would have to be me. I would have to be unconscious.
Why do you think that is though? I mean, do you have a problem flying too?
Somewhat, but I don't really get that super nervous. Like, I'm not dramatic.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean,
it is different. Yeah, it's different. But like, What do you think is like the most
me. You won't be catching me rock climbing, say. You will not be catching me doing a moderately hard hike.
That's insane.
Okay, I like hiking and exercising and stuff, but I'm just really cautious.
Open your mind.
No, well, here's the thing. It's like I can't say I'm not like athletic. It's just that like the agility part, like, okay, if I slip here, then I'm done. So, you know, like there's no more getting down this hill.
Yeah. I think I'm so competitive though, you know, so it's like, okay, one slip and then I could, you know, but at the same time I'm like, this is gonna be a game, like I'm gonna win this game.
Oh.
Like I'm crazy.
Okay, maybe you need to rub off on me a little more.
Yeah, maybe,
All right, how about we go back to this topic?
Yes, Artemis II. No, it's totally okay.
Yeah, so pretty much they're going to be taking photos, and that's part of their mission today, when they're actually going around the moon. Again, not to the dark side of the moon, all right? This is around the moon. And they're going to split up into pairs, apparently, the astronauts are, and they're going to take turn taking pictures, but obviously they've already gathered some pictures.
Exactly.
So one is a striking photo of Earth from first crewed mission in 50 years showing blues, browns, and green auras. How cool.
Wait, what?
Yes, so apparently you can see, where did I see this? Oh yeah, coastlines, rivers, thunderclouds, polar auras, which gave them a sense of connectedness to the planet.
Auroras. Polar auroras, right? Okay, yes. Wait, that's super interesting. Okay, and then, I mean, this is a view that's never been seen directly from Earth too. So like the crew's gonna see 20% of the moon's far side. That's just insane. And also, like, can we talk about how advanced this has gotten, you know, like over the years too? Like, they weren't able to do this. I mean, yes, they were, but like, the technology that we have now is so advanced that they're able to do stuff like this. That's just nuts to me.
Yeah, think about like just a little, you know, photography advances that we had back in the 70s, and now the kind of footage that we're gonna get. And yeah, apparently when they go to this, you know, other side of the moon, which again is supposed to be around like 2 o'clock our time.
Yeah.
They are describing it as seeing the moon the same distance as like if you're holding a basketball outstretched in your hand.
Oh yeah.
And that's like how close they will be. So it's not like they're gonna be super, super up close, but still, I mean.
Oh my gosh,
that's close enough for
so crazy. What if you just did it like selfie style too? Selfie.
Selfie. Can we get the comms going? Let's get the comms going with saying the astronauts, just in case.
That's like my dream.
Okay, that's our trending topics. Coming up next, we are going to be talking Chicago retail and grocery activity, and things are changing. We'll be right back after this break.
welcome back. Okay, so we kind of talked about this briefly, but retail and grocery activity in downtown Chicago specifically is kind of starting to evolve into this new chapter of success, specifically after the setbacks that we saw during COVID. I mean, this isn't new. And now more businesses are kind of seeking those retail spaces that have been left. Maybe they were suffering a little bit during COVID. So we have Walter Walfelt with us, Managing Director at JLL, to kind of catch us up to speed with what's been going on. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Well done on that last name. That's not an easy one.
Oh, well, okay, great. Well, so let's talk a little bit about this. So from what you're seeing and with your expertise, what really is happening in retail right now in downtown Chicago?
So retail's actually doing very well. People sort of, I think when you look at past news stories about malls and malls closing, that has sort of hung on and sort of people remember that and think, is retail dying? Is internet sales hurting retail? But actually, retail vacancy is at historic lows. Now, downtown Chicago specifically has suffered since COVID because of return to office, and retailers can't be successful downtown in Chicago if the office population is not there on a daily basis to support it. But you look at Michigan Avenue, which has just seen amazing activity the last couple of years and continues to be very active. So retail is very strong.
Wow.
You know, Walter, can I ask you this? Did you expect to see this kind of bounce back happen? Because it felt like, you know, back when COVID was just, I guess, getting over, there was so much gloom and doom, and we were so kind of pessimistic, I felt like, with, you know, the outlook of the city and just nationwide in general with retail spaces. Did you see this coming, where we'd finally see things coming back?
You know, during COVID, which was really a dark time, and I work in retail, but JLL is predominantly office brokerage and management, and I didn't necessarily know what would happen, meaning were we all going to come back to work. The great thing about Chicago is we're sort of in the top 5 markets in the U.S. in terms of return to office. So some of the major Texas markets, New York, and then us. And that has been a real boon to retailers that want to move to Chicago or continue to stay in Chicago. So while I don't say that I anticipated, it's wonderful to see Chicago returning to office better than a lot of other markets around the country.
Something I kind of was talking to Gabby about was, you know, during COVID, I feel like a popular option for a lot of people was to go grocery shopping but do it online. And I know you talked about that a little bit. Do you feel like that's helping with the competitiveness of grocery stores right now, just grocery in general? Like, that still is a thing. You know, people use Instacart a lot here in Chicago.
Yeah, you know, they do, but the grocery market and specifically grocery anchored community centers, shopping centers, are the hottest segment in real estate. I mean, it used to be 10 years ago, you invested in Class A office space. Today, you want to buy, if you're an investor, you want to buy a grocery anchored shopping center, and grocery activity is very high. So that means that despite an increase in online sales of grocery, the physical grocery store visit is still very high. And remember also, a lot of those local grocery stores, they fill those online orders. So it's not coming from a warehouse, it's coming from that store.
Yeah, well, what is the outlook for that? Because, I mean, you could do the same thing, right? If we do see this boom, like we've talked about, at least in some of the suburbs or some communities of people doing the online grocery shopping, and we have all these other grocery stores that have been popping up. Are we still seeing a trend of that just going up the next 5 to 10 years, or is it going to be the same problem that we're having in 10 years? All of these grocery stores are going to be closing down.
No, I don't. I think that people shop differently than they used to. And when you look at Chicago, for example, we used to have 2 dominant grocers. We had Jewel and we had Dominic's. And when I was growing up here in Chicago, everybody went to those 2 majors, basically. Now look at all of the variety you have. You can, if you want to shop discount, you go to Aldi. You can go to Walmart, you know, America's largest grocery store. But if you want to go specialty, right, you can go to Whole Foods. You can go to Trader Joe's, which has, you know, so many unique products that you can't find anywhere else. So I think people really like to have variety and get choices in terms of grocery. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to continue to see online grocery shopping. I think that will continue, but I don't think that will be the death of the grocery store. It'll still remain, I think, a relatively small percentage.
I'm intrigued. Let me ask you this. So you talked about, having variety is really good. And I think about like Trader Joe's versus, I don't know, let's say Target, right? Target might have things that I'm looking for, maybe like a sriracha sauce bottle. Trader Joe's, however, doesn't. They have like their own, markup of products. Do you feel like that plays a role into a certain grocery store's success? Does Target have a little bit more success just because, well, obviously, of course, they're big, but like because they have some of those more name brand products that people are looking for?
It makes a big difference. But that was called private label. And private label, so, that product you could only get in a jewel labeled, under their brand or under Trader Joe's brand. That used to be a relatively small segment of the overall inventory that they sold, but it has really become very acceptable. Not just acceptable, you look at Trader Joe's, right? It's people have their favorite things that they love to buy at Trader Joe's, for example. So, no, I think that it's made shopping more creative. Again, it's more competitive because people start to find, the sriracha sauce that you mentioned that they like and they can't find anywhere else. So they're going to continue to support that grocery store. And if you go in there for that one product, you're going to buy a few other things as well.
Walter, can I, I don't know if this is silly, honestly, but I feel like when it comes to the retail landscape and such with some of these open spaces and stuff downtown, I think of Google a lot. They're building this brand new, amazing building. Thousands of people going to be working in there. It seems like a lot of those businesses, office space, or other spaces, retail spaces, are looking forward to them coming. It's like almost like they're saving grace. How much of a difference is a company like Google bringing everyone to that location actually going to make a difference for Chicago, if you can answer that?
No, it's going to make a big difference. And really, when you think about it, if you watch the Loop and you've watched real estate activity, all the activity was in the West Loop. And it's kind of obvious. That's where there was land to build, right? So new office buildings went up there, and then certainly Fulton Market. The central business district, including the original sort of LaSalle Street corridor, that's the older buildings. Those were the less attractive buildings. And so they started to vacate, and that was a real concern. The Google occupancy of that, the old Thompson Center, will be a fantastic boon to the central business district. And we are already seeing some of those buildings change hands on LaSalle Street. Now, they might not be office, they might be residential conversions and hotel conversions, but that is just great for the central business district, and it's great for retail, and really great for the citizens of Chicago, because that reinvigorates what was sort of getting very sleepy. We've been on LaSalle Street, south of Randolph Street in a while. It was getting quiet. So this will be great.
So for maybe some landlords and retailers kind of making some decisions, does that change anything for them? I mean, you talk about how, business will be alive again and it's only increasing and getting better, but how does that change any of the decisions that they might be making right now?
So if you were looking for office space just post-COVID, when everyone was sort of saying, okay, what is my new reality? Do I need half the space I had, or a third of the space that I had? So they were all looking to upgrade because you're spending less money, so might as well upgrade office space. So they were going to the West Loop, going to these brand new buildings that got built, going to Fulton Market Street. Now there's been a couple of years, Fulton Market Street's not as easy to get to if you commute in on public transportation. A lot of the prices have gone way up. And so now office space users are looking back to the Central Loop and saying, okay, what are my options here right in the Loop? Do I have some creative spaces that I can find? Are there building retrofits that are happening? So yes, it's changing their minds, partly as a result of supply, but also because, there's a convenience to being down here in the Loop that still makes sense for everybody.
Walter, how about a kind of a broad question for you, but how about an outlook for 2026 and beyond? What are you expecting in terms of the retail space and activity here in Chicago?
Well, it's a great question because, I answer this a lot. Retail building construction kind of ended in 2008. I mean, it really did. We had too much space, and so it wasn't getting financed. And so slowly since then, we have been absorbing it. And where we are now, Chicago MSA, overall retail vacancy is about 5%. That's a historic low. So what are we going to see in 26? More of what we saw in 25, which is more absorption, all those spaces slowly going away, retail rents are going up. I love seeing Michigan Avenue kind of come back and all that activity that we're seeing there, especially unique things. I love when Starbucks Roastery opened and, Italy, who just renewed, and the Harry Potter experience. That is what makes, the Michigan Avenue experience unique. And I think we're just going to see more of that in 26. Not going to be anything radically different than 25.
Walter, you're a wealth of information. Is there anything that maybe we didn't ask that you're like, this would be a good thing for the audience to know that maybe we missed?
Well, I think that I would hope that people that hear this take away that retail is actually really healthy, and it's not. There's not that scare that our major malls are closing down. There's been a lot of adjustment in that space. So, we are. The fact that we're here and retailers are still expanding, retail vacancy is so low, is sort of a testament that people are still shopping. They like to go into a store and shop. Sure, they online shop too, but now they sort of work both angles. Maybe I'll order it, pick it up in the store. Maybe I'll try 3 different colors and return 2 to the store because it's easier. So that's just become, retail shopping has become more creative, more fun. And people have options. So that's what I'd like the audience to take away.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Bring the in-person shopping experiences back. I love that.
We're still here, baby.
Yeah.
Nice and strong, especially this summer. All right, Walter Wellfeld, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
We will have you back. A wealth of information. We've had him on before,
So
explaining some of the
yeah.
headlines that we really needed to truly know the breakdown of.
Totally.
I love in-person shopping.
Me too.
I love going grocery shopping. I'm not really the kind of person who's going to do an online order.
Oh.
But, that might change later on in
It
life.
stresses me out because then I start overthinking things. I'm like, oh, do I need this? Or maybe I want to add on 5 different things because I'm ordering it online.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just do it the simple way.
Also, I could totally see myself not putting things in my cart because
and then
I'm
forgetting
seeing the price tick up in
sure.
real time.
Oh yeah. So
instead of just having it be pretty much a surprise when you get up there.
Yeah.
All right, say we have She Is Heard coming up, a local organization that's working to raise support and awareness for Black maternal health. A special event happening next Friday. We're telling you way in advance so that we'll have more information right after this break.
Hey, welcome back. Well, there's a local organization called She Is Heard that's working to raise support and awareness for Black maternal health. And there's a special event happening next Friday as well. We're getting all of the details from She Is Heard founder and maternal health advocate, Gabby Richmond. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I want to hear about this event. Is it the first event that you've done, or have you done some in the past years?
So ironically, we actually started as a podcast. Most people don't know that. We started out as a podcast, and we simply wanted women and even men to know that they had a space where they could feel seen, supported, and heard on their infertility journeys, on their birth experience. A lot of people have experienced traumatic births, and so we wanted to give the platform and the voice for that, as well as maternal health. But we realized that people don't just need this online conversation. The in-person, hands-on support was just as important. And so that's why we transitioned into events. And our first event was actually this past December. It was a infertility support event. And it went so great, and the feedback was so amazing that we said we had to kind of keep going. And so that's how Rooted and Resilient Black Maternal Health Night came about.
Well, and just seeing these images too, I mean, you talked about how you guys started out as a podcast, not many people knew about it, but seeing all of these images, it seems like there's a lot of people coming out to, you know, to learn and to hear and maybe be able to relate to some other people as well on this. What has that growth been like since She Is Heard was started? And then also, how cool is it for you as kind of the founder to see more and more people kind of seeking these services and some support as well?
One thing I know is that in this area, people suffer in silence. It's just not a conversation you're having with your girlfriend, or if you are at Christmas with the family. People just don't know what you may be silently battling. And so I put out I also have a modeling background, and so I did this Nike spec, know your fertility status awareness video, and the influx of DMs that I received took me back, and it made me realize, okay, a lot of people are going through this. And so that kind of motivated me to keep going initially and pushed me into the podcast. But for me, it feels very fulfilling because I get to be a conduit for not only giving these women and men a voice, but I can also foster some sort of healing and hope, because that's what our #1 goal is, for them to come to our event, come to a podcast episode and feel empowered and feel hope for their journey. That's really important to us.
Yeah, well, you know, we've talked many times, Gabby, like that there's parts of our community, Black and brown especially, who aren't, there's a kind of health equity gap, right? And it sounds like you're really honing into that. You're seeing people, meeting them where they are and giving them a resource that they thought was kind of, you know, maybe not available to them. Would that be correct?
Absolutely. And when people come to our event, they are going to leave with so many resources. So with our vendors, we have resources, doulas, affordable health care, affordable mental health care, holistic healing. We'll have herbs there for the womb, womb care, and just so much more. I'm so excited for people to experience our vendors because it was very intentional, and I believe it's very comprehensive.
I have a question that, you know, I don't know if there's really a right way to answer this, but you talked about how women and men are actively seeking this type of support.
Yes.
How is that different? And I don't mean to like stir the pot or anything, but you know, for women who are seeking that support versus men who are also seeking that support, how are conversations different, if it's different at all?
It is, because naturally as a woman, we love to talk. Totally. It's in our DNA to feel emotions and call a friend and just vent. But for men, I've noticed that it is slightly different because culturally, but also just again who they are, not all men, right? But naturally they just don't express themselves more, or they feel like they have to be strong. And then if you are going through, say, infertility, your #1 job, you feel, is to console your partner. And so your feelings have to kind of go on the back burner. So actually on my last podcast episode, I had a man come to me and say, I want to tell my story. He was actually the root of their infertility in his marriage. And I could not believe that he wanted to sit out in front and tell his story. But men, my husband actually makes jokes and he said, what about he is heard? We need to be heard too.
Exactly what he would say.
Absolutely. And so we have some amazing ideas up the pipeline for men, maybe a men's circle or support group where men can come and get those same resources, whether you are a expecting, aspiring, or a current dad who needs resources and needs community and support.
I am so glad that you're opening up to both genders, because it is a partnership, right? You should be going through the journey together.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times, not all the time, you know, women take on a lot of the brunt and
100%.
The guilty, you know, feeling of not being able to conceive. Can I ask you about your own journey? You know, what brought you to want to do this?
Yeah, that's a great question. Partially, it became personal for me. I had an experience where they told me that I had a blocked fallopian tube, and they gave me antibiotics, and there's nothing wrong with any of that, but something within me felt like I wanted to try a different route. And so I went on my own healing journey, and I cleaned up my diet, and I took these herbs religiously. And a month later, and I just like to say it's called a hydrosalpinx. It's one of the worst kind, and it was extremely painful. And I went back to the doctor a month later, and they told me that my fallopian tube was completely unblocked.
That's crazy.
And so that personal experience told me, number one, holistic health and healing does work, and I felt more connected to the cause.
That's crazy. I mean, the fact that you like tried this and, like you said, religiously, and then all of a sudden, I mean, that was just a different outcome. That's wow, that's really impressive. Will you tell me a little bit too about the mental health side of things? You know, what do these people really feel? Obviously, Gabby kind of touched on this as well. She talked about how there may be feelings of guilt, obviously, you know, for a woman or a man. What are maybe some of the emotions and the feelings that couples might go through when they experience something like this? Because, you know, some of our viewers, some of our audience might be going through this themselves and might be thinking like, I don't want to talk about this in front of my friend who's expecting soon, or my friend who's already gone through this experience.
You don't want to be the downer, right?
Exactly.
That's a good point. Like you sometimes, in Chicago's, we're tough, right? Like you don't want to be the one who's looking weak or changing the subject.
Right.
I think that it is a dance in that type of scenario where you can equally be, two things can be true. You can be happy for someone, but also feel the loss for yourself. And that's real. And I think that you grow within your friendships where you can hold space and be happy for them, but they also need to hold space and address the obvious for you. But I believe that a couple of the feelings I would just say from our support groups and our podcast is that as a woman, you were created essentially to conceive and procreate. And so I think that a woman may feel less as a woman when she's struggling to do so, especially when she has a deep-seated desire. And again, you're watching online, you're seeing people with gender reveals, and this person is on their third and their fourth, and you're trying to just get one. And so again, sometimes it can be a lonely journey. And again, that's why we really want people to find our community and our space, because it is a community, and you're like, oh my God, there's other people who know how I feel. And I think sometimes there's a bitterness. If people are honest, there's a bitterness there too, because why me? Why can't I? And so having a space where you can truly have a voice to say, I'm bitter, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, I feel lonely. That is the transition where you can actually heal when you feel hurt.
Of course.
Hence, she is hurt.
She is hurt.
I love it.
I knew you were getting there.
I'm so glad that you're coming here, and thank you for your vulnerability and for what you're doing. For people who are interested in the event, April 17th, was it?
April 17th.
How can they get more information, and can they still sign up to be a part of it?
Absolutely. So the event is absolutely free, but we would love for you to RSVP, just so we know how many people to expect. If you want to hear more information, you can find us online at sheisheard.org or email us at info@sheisheard.org.
And is this going to be happening, you think, every 6 months or so? Because you said you just had one in December. Is it going to kind of be a bi-yearly kind of event, or do you hope to, you know, have these more often?
I believe that I'm a creative also, and we're building our team, and everybody is coming with so many great ideas. And so I can't promise what the next one it will be, but there will be a next one.
There's going to be something for sure.
Okay, one more question for you. For people who are interested in your podcast, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can go either, the easiest way might be on our social media, sheisheard_. We're on YouTube, we're on all the streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify. We have some great episodes up there. We have someone who experienced IVF. And if I could just go back a little bit with our panel, we have an amazing panel. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So we have a panel, again, comprehensive. We have a doula, we have a perinatal psychotherapist, we have an OBGYN who's been practicing for over 30 years, myself as a maternal health advocate as well as a postpartum advocate. But what's unique about our panel is that they mostly everybody has their own personal journey in addition to their expertise. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. We have our doula she's a survivor of a stillborn loss at 7 months. She had to deliver that baby during COVID in a time where she couldn't even have her partner. It was just so many nuances to that. Our psychotherapist, she's experienced IVF and secondary infertility. And I've shared part of my story, and I will be sharing the rest of my story at the event, so come to the event if you want to hear more.
Love it.
But we just have, everybody is very passionate about this cause, and it makes it even better when they have their own story and they have expertise.
Perfectly curated. Thank you so much, Gabby,
No problem.
for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much, and for what you're doing, of course.
Thank you.
Okay, we have much more coming up, and we'll be right back after this break. To Chicago Now. We have some trending topics to go through. One place I actually frequent maybe too much, and it's only my husband and I, so it's not like I'm feeding a family of 5, but it's Costco. I love Costco. I also love Costco. I've been missing it a lot because since I moved here, I don't have a car here. I'm strictly relying on public transit.
True, yeah.
So I haven't been able to go to Costco, but
girl, you and I. We're Costco bound.
Pick me up. You know where I live.
I think we're Costco bound, honestly, and there's a pretty good one over by me. Yeah, and even more so. Actually, I haven't frequented the food stand. What you call it? Like the food
court?
Yeah, at Costco in a while. But
food court
for
slaps.
the longest time before I moved to Chicago, Costco pizza growing up was my favorite pizza.
Oh, their pizzas are so good, and they're so big.
Exactly.
It's so good. It's greasy.
So delicious.
And it's like, yeah.
Yeah, you have to get the napkin. My mom would always get the napkin and pat off like the extra grease from the pepperoni.
No, leave it on, please.
leave it on.
Please leave it on.
A little extra. Anyways, well, here's kind of our headline. Costco's hot dog deal inspires a bourbon that flew off the shelves, apparently. So here it is, and it's actually pretty funny.
Wait.
It's called I Got That Dog in Me. And at first I was like, okay, so is it like hot dog flavored? Apparently it's not. The bourbon is 126 proof, so 63% alcohol, and bottled by Rare Character Whiskey Co., which I feel like is a good name. And it's out of, guess where? Kentucky, Lexington, Kentucky. And the bottle's design, you see it. It's a picture of Costco's iconic hot dog and soda combo, linking the bourbon to the store's popular food deal.
Oh, wow.
So the release was initially just for Washington, D.C., but apparently future bottles may appear in Costco regions like including Los Angeles.
Why D.C. and like why even L.A.? Like go
really
Midwest.
Good question. Also, like why not Kentucky?
Why not Kentucky? Why not Illinois? Why not? You know, we have like Malort.
It's highlighted for its woody, dark fruit flavors, high proof and scarcity. Yeah, with some buyers willing to pay for above retail.
Listen, I'm not a big bourbon person. I'm not a big alcohol person in general.
You know what? That's funny. I always say that too.
Oh, really?
I'm really not. If seltzers didn't exist, I probably wouldn't drink alcohol.
See, for me, it's like red wine. You know, I could do like red wine, but other than that, I don't really care for a drink. So like, leave me out of all of this.
Okay.
But the hot dog, I'm there for. You know.
I think we can be marked safe from this hot dog. I got that dog.
I got that dog in me.
You know what? But it would be a fun gift, I will say.
I mean, look at this thing.
This would be a fun gift for.
Wait, so how much is it again? So $86?
Oh, did it say that? Oh, I totally skipped that. Yeah.
$86 for this thing? I don't know. Listen, if you have like a dad, you know, who really is like a strong bourbon guy, that would be perfect.
You know what? But my dad doesn't really drink like hard liquor.
Yeah.
So
it's like one of those funny things.
My dad can get down with a Costco hot dog, or really any hot dog in that case. All right, Dad. Maybe that's your Father's Day gift. You could just put on display. I want to switch over to another food-related story.
Oh, yes.
I actually have not seen the picture yet.
I haven't either.
I wanted to wait until this show, until we explained it and showed it all with you guys, to see what this lamb-shaped Easter cake is all about. So let me read the headline again.
Yeah.
All right. Bakery responds to messages of concern after horrifying lamb-shaped Easter cake went viral. Detroit's Homestead Kitchen Artisan Cakery shared an AI-generated unsettling lamb-shaped cake for Easter on April Fool's Day.
Can we see it?
Featuring bulging eyes and crooked teeth. All right, here's the reveal. Let's see it. The grand reveal. Oh my God,
that is horrifying.
Wow.
This, you know what this reminds me of? I hate this.
This actually kind of makes me sick to my stomach.
This reminds me of like when you were in school and everyone was really good at drawing except you. Like that's me.
Yeah.
This is like how I would draw something. This is horrible.
Oh. He's
and actually just disgusting. But
like the cake went through like a 5-day long bender. maybe got into that dog in me. And it couldn't recover.
I mean, it's just looking at you. Also,
that one,
the caption does not match.
99 for.
The caption is crazy too. Like, order your lamb cake for Easter. I'm so good.
So apparently, apparently they were joking that it's kind of compared to roadkill. Or an ashtray.
Well,
an ashtray. Oh, okay, I can see it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
I can see it.
But yeah, really, there was a lot of concern about this. Prompting the bakery to clarify the post was just a prank. It was April Fool's Day, people. I feel like April Fool's Day kind of caught up with a lot of people this year, and a lot of the jokes actually stuck. So, and then there was also a photo that revealed their real lamb cake. But still, wait, I gotta read this again. By April 4th, though, the bakery offered a purchasable version of the viral ugly one
What?
Promising it would wow guests, that's weird language to put in there, while being less terrifying than the AI version.
How do you even replicate this? I mean, this was obviously AI, but like, how do you you just make a lamb-shaped cake?
I bet there's some people who rolled up yesterday to their party with a lamb cake looking like that.
That's terrifying.
And
Why would you do that?
I would have no choice but to turn them away.
Or I would just say, actually, you're not invited to Easter
yeah,
anymore.
I'm sorry, but you actually have to leave.
Yeah, I mean, that's just horrible. If that is allowed to be brought to a gathering, what can I bring? I can bring literally anything I want.
If I would see that,
do not bring that to my home.
On the table, like, you know, I would escort myself out of there.
I don't like the details of it. Like, why, like the eyes and the teeth even, it's like gross. I mean, this is just...
It looks like it's on
actually
crack,
making me
actually.
Mad. Yeah, it's making me really upset.
It looks like it is on crack cocaine.
Yeah, this is really deeply disturbing.
And why does one have a black eye?
Oh, so true. Listen, I got that dog in me.
One's actually hurt. Oh, maybe he got beat up.
My question is, okay, once again, I know this is AI, but what is the cake made of? You know what I mean? Like, do you see all the little random toppings?
Yeah, no, those
like ornaments.
I'm thinking those are kind of like growths. Like it's growing. It's like growing stuff. Like it's a little. You know, like I don't want to say like warts, but like growth.
That's
disgusting. Like maybe skin tags and stuff.
Absolutely not. I can't even believe your head went there.
There's a lot of things wrong with this.
Yeah, that's like really deeply concerning. Once again, if any of my family or like friends watch this and you bring this over to my home, you will be banned. And actually, I would take a really strong, you know, consideration and like a really close look at our friendship and relationship, because like that's just that's a day ruiner.
I'm like, wait a second. Like, we're supposed to be celebrating Jesus' resurrection, yet you're bringing a monstrosity in my house.
This is not about you, Lamb, or anyone else who brings the lamb.
Okay, but good on them. You know what? They definitely probably made a name for themselves. Detroit's Homestead Kitchen Artisan Cake. This is not an ad for them, but
you know
what?
I'm sure they
make a really mean AI version cake.
Well, and they can do the real thing too.
This was fun, Say.
Yeah, this was fun.
You know what? We can have you back.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today on Chicago Now. We'll be back on your Tuesday.